Morning. Right, I'm just very quickly going to tell you what's happened here with my review. So usually what I do, I record it Sunday morning, edit it, put it out Sunday night, jobs are good. Because Saturday night I like to spend with family watching box, know what I mean? Anyway, they're back on box, aren't they? Ant and Deck. That's Saturday night takeaway. Now, I don't mind Ant and Deck, you know, they've had a good career for them since. Very much the kings of Saturday night light entertainment. You know. Been lucky, but you know, you've got to take that luck when it comes your way. I mean, Barrymore vanishes from the scene when that unfortunate incident at his pool party, and the Geordie duo stepped into that vacuum, and fair play to them for that, no problem with that. But I don't like Saturday night takeaway, it's very loud. I don't like loud, screaming, squawking, all that. So I thought, I know what I'll do. Instead of doing it Sunday and having review eating into me Sunday, I'll record it Saturday night, because I'm not bothered about that sound. Problem where I've recorded it all, right? I'm editing it, and then I realise I've made a grave error, because what I've done, at one bit I forgot to press pause, right? And because I forgot to press pause, when I start re-recording again, I'm actually pressing pause then instead of record. So the last 20 minutes of my review, it weren't a review at all. I didn't know what to do with the game. It's just sound of me putting kettle on, eating bits of cheese, changing my slippers, going outside for the tab. So I realised this when I'm editing, about 3 in the morning. So I had to very quickly re-record the last 10 minutes. So the last goal description and the man of the match chat, that all might seem a bit rushed. So I'm just explaining to you why that is. I know what you're going to say. I thought you said you didn't want it to eat into your Sunday, but you're up till 4 AM editing it. Well, I don't really consider that Sunday, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? It's that funny time. It's like between days. I don't consider it Saturday or Sunday. Do you know what I mean? It's that funny time in between. You know, when the veil between the worlds is at its thinnest. Don't I face some funny noises? You know, at that time of night, shrieks, ghouls. People trying to sneak through from the other realm. Odd time of day. So, managed to get it all done. I thought, yes, not an eating into me Sunday. Or me Sunday. Because I consider Sunday when you get up. You know what I mean? Not when the clock gets a minute past midnight. Sunday is when you get up. Although I'm up now and recording, so it has it into me Sunday, hasn't it? Maybe I'll go back to doing it this way. But I just thought I'll do it Saturday night, not bothered about the Ant and Deck show. That's all. I mean, I don't mind them too. As I said, they've done very well for themselves since Biker Grove. But, yeah. I mean, personally, I prefer that Mulhern. I think he should be getting all Saturday night gigs. I do. He's got an easy way with him. He's good with punters, you know. And he's slightly camp. I think it's important you have camp on Saturday night family entertainment. So if it were up to me, if I were head ITV Light Entertainment, Mulhern would be getting all gigs. But fair play to Ant and Deck. Made him send millionaires out of the unfortunate incidents at Barrymore's. So, swings and roundabouts, innit? Anyway, my review. The last 10 minutes of it might seem a bit rushed, but now you know why. Because I forgot to press pause and I recorded me saying having a brew and some cheese instead. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hope you enjoy the review. And I'll see you at Wimbledon. See you later. Wednesday made 2 changes for Cheltenham's visit. Firstly, in the back 3, Harley Dean comes in the central centre-half position, with Hutchinson continuing on the left-hand side. Now, Dean's been out for a couple of months since I think it's 50-odd days since he limped off on his home debut. And that's 3 centre-halves in 3 games in that position, with Iofa, Dunkley and then Dean all coming back from injury, and all perhaps struggling a little bit to get back up to speed. The other change was Nathaniel Mendez-Lang came back into the side. I thought he might be included, he's been back in training a couple of weeks. The way we struggled to break down teams like Gillingham and Accrington Stanley, I did wonder if he might get an attacking midfield remit and get running at people, but he started up front with Lee Gregory, which is a little bit of a surprise, but they were the 2 changes for Wednesday. Now, we talked before the game that there seems to be now a blueprint for teams that's playing Wednesday. Match them up man for man across the park, get men behind the ball and make the spaces close down and tight. Accrington Stanley did it, Gillingham did it, and obviously we know that these are already playing that system anyway with the 3-5-2. But same formation, there are different ways of doing it. We did wonder if they'd come out and have a pop. Now we talked as well about the importance of Wednesday having a good start and getting an early goal. But these did come out and have a little bit of a pop, and in fact we could have been behind as early as 40 seconds into the game. Now as it is, it was offside, but it was a long throw on the far side. The right full-back, wing-back long, he went all the way across to take it, so you knew what were coming. You knew it's going to get hurled in the box. It's flicked on, Della gets in, round the back stick, and although it's offside, a huge credit to Peacock Farrell because he played to the whistle. It looked very tight to me. Was off, but it was very tight, and it's that thing of there's no point standing there with your arm in air looking at linesmen. I've seen that sort of thing too many times. So good save, an early warning for Wednesday, but as it was a warning that weren't needed because just 2 minutes later we were a goal behind. The Cheltenham were getting behind the ball, but what they were doing as well is they were playing quick and direct when they were getting on the counter. They'd have a touch at the back, they'd half lull Wednesday in, it'd be 1-2 touch, but then it would go, and that's how their goal come about. It's actually a nice tackle on one, and Della plays a brilliant little through ball through the gap. May gets away, and it's a sign of a striker that's full of confidence. It was his 20th league goal of the season. It does take a big deflection, but to take it on, you've got to have that confidence, and if you get a little bit of luck, you earn that luck by having a goal. So early warning for Wednesday, then they concede. Now, as we've seen in the past with Wednesday, it's often how you react to a situation. Unfortunately, we reacted very well. It's actually a lovely raking ball from Harley Dean that gets us away for our equaliser 3 minutes later. Jack Hunt on the far side, he's just struggling actually, I think, to get it under control, but he does enough to earn us a corner. And when the ball comes in, it's Dean again, so involved twice in the goal in many ways. Gets up well. Wednesday have made a little cluster and moved the defenders away to try and get him a free header, which is interesting to see that they've been working on that. And when it gets flicked on towards the back post, Luongo's there. At first I thought I'd headed it, but it actually turned out it's a little sort of, it's an half overhead scissor kick into the net. So Wednesday straight back into the game. Talked last week about anticipation and communication in the back line. There were a couple of examples last week where there were mix-ups at the back, and I talked in the video, there was a big, not confrontation, but a big conflab between Dunkley and Story and Peacock Farrell about who should be doing what and who's coming for it and all that sort of thing. Nothing worse when you're a goalkeeper when a centre half, moves out of the way and shouts keeper's ball when you've got no intention of coming for it. We nearly got caught out with another long ball today. They played quite a few, Cheltenham. I'm not going to call them a long ball side. I'll come on to that later. But it was a long ball. It came over. Peacock Farrell was already there, right on the edge of the box, because he was anticipating what was going to come. So that was good to see. And actually, later in the game, that anticipation saved us. Wednesday are having a bit of the ball, but these are by no means posing little threat. They're actually catching us out quite often, and as I said, they're winning the ball at the back. They wait until we get into the half and then they're in. They're quite snappy and they're not going long straight away. They're having 1-2 touches and then they're going. They're just looking for the run to start from the striker or the gap to appear, and then they go along and they actually have the ball in the net again. It's disallowed for a foul on Peacock Farrell. Now the referee today, I didn't think he had the best game in the world. However, on that occasion, I think it saved us a bit, him and the linesman, because he does get a bit of a push. 10 years ago, I don't even think that's a foul, but it's disallowed and it's another warning shot. So we've had one after 40 seconds, then they've had the goal, and it's this thing, they're looking, it's that threaded ball or the diagonal in behind the wing backs, because Hunt and Johnson were very high up the pitch. I quite like the way that Cheltenham play, and obviously they've not got a massive budget, so you do what you can to win games. And it's easy for teams with a smaller budget to say, right, we're just going to defend, break us down. We've seen it from Gillingham, seen it from Accrington Stanley. But I thought in the right areas they did have a go, and as I said, they were quite direct, but I wouldn't call it long ball. It was direct with a purpose. Couple of touches, often a wide ball, and then they would play on the second ball. Once they'd played that direct pass down to May, or the other lad, Blair, they would then play some quite decent stuff off the second ball, some nice football in that area. It reminded me a little bit Howard Wilkinson's style football, probably more so when he was at Leeds on Wednesday, but get it forward in quick, hold it up, and then play from there in that last Wednesday third. So I quite liked Cheltenham and the way they played. Like I said, not got a massive budget, and I think they could be proud of the performance today. It wasn't a 4-1 game. I quite like Cheltenham. They got a lad, left wing back, Hutchinson, the lad on the other side, I think it was Boyle and Long, and they weren't afraid to play that arrow ball down the channel. I like that. Getting behind the fullbacks, it's still one of the most exciting things it will to me when I'm sat there watching a game and the ball gets in behind the opposition defence. That's when you start taking interest in it a bit, So thought they were a threat with that, and it was something we had to keep an eye on. Johnson and Hunt started to get more and more goal side because they were aware of that threat. And Hutchinson 2 or 3 times had to be aware of that ball coming in behind and getting across and sweeping things up. Now Mendez-Laing was up front with Gregory. I wasn't sure before the game, we'd seen it before. The last time he played up front, I did a video about I thought he kept going out and clogging up the right hand side and blocking off spaces that Hunt could have been getting into, and I thought that would happen in a little bit again today. Obviously he's a player that's at his best when he's getting the ball in deeper areas and getting ahead of steam up and running at people. Because he got less space to run into because he was receiving the ball higher up the pitch, I don't think he was able to get that momentum going. But when he was getting the box, he was trying the little step over and stuff that we see when he's playing deeper and playing on the wing. But because he'd not got that head of steam up, he's doing little step overs, and I thought he was telegraphing them a bit, and they were getting cut out by the lad Boyle at the back. I think it was Boyle who was marking him. He was just able to get a foot in because he'd not got the time or space to get the momentum and the speed to run at him. Far harder to defend someone like him with good footwork when they've already got that speed up. Talked before recent weeks about Gregory. Gregory for me works well in an open game with a big lad around him, so Canberra. I think Gregory's best games have come with. And I did wonder if they'd play Patterson. I know it didn't work particularly well against Gillingham, but that's a really tight game where they're defending very deep, or this low block, which seems to be the new phrase. And you've got to be able to unpick defences with tighter movement and them sharp little 1-2s. In a more open game today, and I think it was an open game, I think there's a space then in your squad for a partner with Gregory that will win headers and flick-ons and things like that. And I felt that because of the way Mendez-Laing goes looking for space, I thought that Gregory got quite isolated today at times, and he looked for long periods quite a frustrated figure. Although that weren't helped by the fact he got absolutely nothing from this referee. That said, they nearly did combine for a goal. Gregory did really well, just used his cuteness to use his arse to spin in. Got a good ball across the box, and Mendez-Laing sort of chucked himself at it. It was a sort of service that Gary Lineker made a career out of, getting on the end of, sliding in onto them low whip balls across the 6-yard box. And that really should have been Wednesday 2-1 ahead. Peacock Faddle does well to make a save from May, who was a bit of a live wire for them. I didn't realise how small he is compared to a lot of other players, but really quite strong with it as well, and I thought his link play was really good for them. So Peacock Farrell had to be out smart to save at feet. And Johnson had a side-footed effort from a Bannon corner that was... Sorry. I've got some of that cheese in the fridge, that it's like rubber, like Dutch cheese or something. When I'm being lazy, I just roll it up in a tube and I just eat it while I'm waiting for the kettle to boil. Anyway, so Johnson had a bit of an effort from a Bannon corner routine. But other than that, although Wednesday were having lots of the ball, we were a little bit sloppy with it in the final third, and they were willing to, like I said before, just have a couple of touches and then look for a big diagonal ball. Not in the air, this is what I'm saying, not always long ball side, but they got a lad in the middle of the park, I think it was Bonds, liked him a lot, thought he got good feet, and he was always looking for that ball between the centre halves to try and get May and Blair away, so there was always that threat, and I do think Wednesday were a bit sloppy. One of the reasons I think we were sloppy though is we were playing at a far higher tempo than we were against Gillingham, and it's always the case that the quicker you're trying to move the ball, the higher the chances that you're going to see them mistakes or the sloppiness in the passing. Because if you're trying to keep the tempo high, sometimes you're knocking a pass and you're already thinking about making your move after to try and get the squeeze on them, so you're not always taking that care with your pass, because sometimes you already are focused on, right, I'm going to get after this foot 1-2 or whatever. So really pleased to see Wednesday's higher tempo, but I do think that was also a factor in us giving the ball away a bit more. And I think as a fan, you've got to be aware of that. You know, our possession wasn't fantastic today, but we're playing at an higher tempo. Some weeks we have all the possession in the world and we're moaning that we're not quick enough. So you can't always have it the best of both worlds. If we'd got players who could play 100 mile an hour and never give the ball away, we'd be in the bloody Premier League, wouldn't we? So we're a third division team, and I think we've got to temper that in our thinking sometimes. It starts early in game and it seems to be every other week, but this lad's a real piss takeaway, and that's that Evans in net with the goal kicks, with the time wasting. It's endemic in game. The time wasting is absolutely unbelievable. It gets to sort of stage where I'm just thinking to myself, when players are coming down the tunnel at the beginning of the game, I just give both goalkeepers a yellow card before they've even gone on pitch, and that, you know, just try and put an end to it before it starts, because it's an absolute piss take at times. I mean, Westwood were a master at it, which is all right when Wednesday were winning. Although now and again he used to do it when we were losing. I don't know what that was all about, but Evans were at it all game, and referee never clamped down on it. I didn't think the ref was too bad first half, but the second half he just got more and more pernickety. All this, people trying to take a quick free kick, he just won't let it happen. And frustrating, very frustrating with time wasting. Anyway, Wednesday get into the break, 1-1, played quite well, and although it's been a sloppy game in terms of possession really from both teams, I enjoyed it, and I think a lot of people did, because the atmosphere I thought was a lot better than against Accrington Stanley. Did one more chance just before half time. I weren't going to include it because it was offside anyway, but Bannon picks out an absolutely wonderful ball for Mendes Lang, and how he don't finish it I'll never know, but I mean it's one of those that a natural striker. If that fell to Gregory, you know, I'd have thought all his Christmases had come at once, but fortunately I think for Mendes Lang the offside flag goes up, so he sort of gets away with it. Good run though, got in the right area, and a fantastic ball from Bannon. But at half time it's one apiece. Thought we took lead, but a couple of minutes into the second half, Jack Hunt, really good, quick, early cross that gets, it just, in fact it's so quick it sort of almost ends up behind Gregory. I don't, at the time I'm thinking, like, has he not put that in the net, but I think it must have been so quick it sort of got underneath him, if you know what I mean. That was another thing that was evident today, the speed of the delivery in the wide areas. Wednesday try and pass through the middle, and the other thing they try and do is get the wide overloads, but today I thought it was evident they were trying to get them balls in from wide areas a lot quicker, and I thought they looked better for it. The referee does actually get his cards out of his pocket with two blatant fouls on Johnson within 2 seconds. I mean, first he gets past the lad and he's nearly pulled his shirt off his back, and then as he's motoring away he's loosened the grip of the shirt. He just takes him out from behind. Clear booking. Wright was the lad who did it, and referee actually got his cards out and made the right decision, because there were a lot of baffling ones today, it has to be said. Gregory gets his goal. Absolutely delighted for him. Probably the hardest chance he had all afternoon, because the cross from Hunt, I thought he might have put away. It's fantastic. Great ball from Byers, who again I thought has had a fantastic game today. Takes it down, lets it bounce twice. Just kept his eye on it. 2 little bounces, and then a half volley on third rise. Fantastic strike. Did him the world of good, and I think it came at the right time, because I thought Gregory was looking a very frustrated figure for large spells of this game. As I said, Mendes-Lang was looking for them pockets of space, which is great, but when you're the team with the more dominant possession, I think you can play in and around each other. And I thought he kept drifting out to the flanks, and Gregory's on his own. He's not getting a lot from referee. There's a lot of elbows in back. He's trying to lean in. And it's a lot of 50-50 stuff, but the referee's 9 times out of 10 giving it to the centre half. It's like the complete opposite of what was happening half of the time. So he looked frustrated. So I'm really pleased he got his goal, and I think he just lifted him. That 5-10 minutes after that goal, I thought he took it up to another level again. Some of his link play really good. They nearly equalised 5 minutes after that. They're having a spell. They've got a couple of players who's impressed me. I like the lad Hutchinson they got on the left-hand side, and I've already talked about Bonds in the middle. He's picked out a lovely ball, and May is really, really unselfish. He's inside the box, and the angle he's at, 9 times out of 10, I think a striker's going to hit that. But especially when he's already got 20 goals this season, but he's not greedy. Square little pass. It's a fantastic save from Peacock Farrell, and it's that awareness, because he's not gone airing out to May, to giving it the big starfish thing. He's kept his position quite well, and then he's got across, and he's got down, and it's really brave. He's flung himself down at feet, and they'll be looking at that and thinking it should be a goal. That is a fantastic save, and for me, that is the huge turning point in games. Games are all hinge on these little moments, and for me, that is the moment the game really turned in Wednesday's favour. Goal comes on for Mendes-Lang. I thought Patterson might get the nod ahead of him because of the sort of game it was. We were getting loads of crosses into the box, and I thought it might be something that suited Patterson, and I thought it might be something that suited Gregory having a big unit up around him, but So came on. I thought he was quite lively. He didn't do a great deal with the ball, although I thought ref were going to book him in a rare moment of spotting a foul. But he did actually do really well for one of the goals. Mendes-Lang, what was his afternoon like? He had one good moment when he ran from deep, probably hurtled and got between 4 or 5 men before being brought down. But again, that was from deep, and he'd gone out into that right-hand side slot, and for some reason Hunt had ended up inside. Maybe they'd been working on it, I don't know, but his best moments came when he drifted out there, which is great. But as I said, Gregory looked isolated when that happened, so I'd rather he's drifting out there because he's actually playing that position rather than he's drifting out there from centre forward. The good thing is, though, and it's got to be a positive, we're coming into a crunch stage at season now. He's going to be a big player for us, Mendes-Lang, and he's got 50, nearly 60 minutes under his belt of match play, so that can only be a good thing. So, although I didn't particularly think he did that well as a striker as such, I think it was a smart move from the manager to get him some game time in a position when he's going to get plenty of running and get himself back up to peak fitness. I can't really understand. Something seemed to change for Cheltenham. The second half were very scrappy compared to the first. Again, Wednesday's passing's quite sloppy. I thought Luongo's passing, by his usual high standards, I thought it was off today. In terms of I still thought he had a fantastic game. His ball winning, his tracking especially. He's one of the smartest players we've got for spotting and being aware of who's going to be making them breaking runs from midfield. Thought he was excellent in that sense, but his passing, I'd say that's the loosest his passing's probably been since he came back in the side for me today. Excellent game, but I thought his passing was a bit off. The game itself went a bit sloppy. And Cheltenham, they sort of changed a bit. The first half, we were getting in and around their box, and then they were in, snappy. Any loose passes we made, which there were a few, they were in and they were on it. Lots of little interceptions where they stepped onto a like a sideways pass, stepped into it, and then looked to get that direct pass into channel or into May's feet. They stopped doing that. They started having the keeper rolling the ball out and doing the little slow 1-2s, and it sort of flipped it. They were doing what Wednesday were doing at the beginning of the season, and that slow tap at the back, rather than doing the quick direct breaks that they were doing before. They almost started trying to play through us, which I didn't think suited them. You play to your strengths. And May and Blair, like I said, linking with Hutchinson and they'll have Bonds in midfield. I thought they were causing us problems on the break, and then they suddenly start this knocking it about at the back, which I don't think they look comfortable, especially the right-sided centre-half Raglan. I thought he'd look like a rabbit in headlights with ball at feet. It reminded me a bit of old Tom Lees when we used to be rolling ball out to him, and he was like, "I'm here to head it and kick it, don't give me ball," So a strange, whether that was deliberate from them and they were being told to do that, I don't know, but I thought that was a strange, slight tactical switch from Cheltenham. Not out of it ourselves by any means. I'm saying that they started looking ropey, but we were equally looking as ropey as well. Free kick, it's a wonderful ball from there, lad. He's looking like he's just going to arrow it that way, and he cuts it. The weight on it is absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. It literally goes over our lad's head when he's on jump and just drops down. I think it's May that gets on the end of it, and Harley Dean comes screaming across with an absolutely fantastic sort of block tackle, and then he's up and he's turning round and he's giving everyone a right round of fucks for being switched off. And I thought, that right G'd me up. I love to see that from a centre half. Love it. You don't want to make in last ditch tackles because you're hoping it don't come to that, but when you see one, I get excited with goal saving tackles. I do. Maybe I'm old fashioned, but and then he turned round, fist pumping, come on lads, fucking sort it out. Great to see, and you can see the sort of player he's going to be and how vital I think he might be in running. Set pieces again, we didn't concede. We conceded a few corners in this spell. We didn't concede from it, but they've caused us problems all season, and these had got a different one. It weren't just slung into the box. They were playing a short corner nearly all the time, and poor old Barry Bannon was going out, but he was going out on his own. Now I understand you want men in the box to head things away and block things and block runners, but if they're taking a short corner every time, sometimes I think you've got to say, actually, yeah, send two out there and we'll try and deal with out that comes in. We didn't seem to switch on, so I could see Bannon's arms waving about like, look, somebody else come with me. We didn't switch on to that all game actually. Cheltenham made 2 subs in a minute, and it looked to me that they sort of went to a loose back 4, and up front it's hard to tell. It was like 5 when they'd not got the possession, and it was like a 4-3-3 when they had got possession. Was it a Tete on for Chapman and Serkin came onto it? It did look to me like they changed more to a normal back 4. Kept the 3 in midfield to try and keep Byers and Bannon occupied and Luongo. And this big unit came on up front, and it looked like they got a 3 stretched across. Gregory with the old ambitious overhead kick, at his age from that far out, got to have good core strength, haven't you, to be trying to pull them manoeuvres off. And he pulled it off. Well, just unfortunately he booted Pollock's ear instead of ball. Wednesday extend the lead, and you couldn't be happier for the lad who scored it, Jack Hunt, because in recent weeks he's been getting closer and closer, been taking up some fantastic positions. There were spells today, I would say, in probably the first 15 minutes of the game and the last 15 minutes of the game. He was like one of the furthest men forward. He's playing like an out-and-out winger. He put some delicious crosses into the box. One just evaded Bannon at back stick. He put it over Bowie's head. Yeah, his head. And he got his goal. It's a fantastic ball. He's had a great game this afternoon. And when it come back across, Hunt, it wasn't unlike, I wish it had gone radiant corner. Any goal's a goal, and I'm delighted for him, but it just reminded me, I thought, oh, it could have been like that Danny Wilson one, and then that Didwell Wilson strike all them years ago. Delighted for him. You could see how much it meant to him and all. Brilliant. Fourth goal, icing on cake, really. George Byers, fantastic game he's had today, by the way. Showed some real quality up ball. I think he's probably the player who gave it away the least, I would say. Always so composed. Don't panic into anything. Plus he's also winning them little tackles, getting a foot in and driving a zombie's passing. And what I like about Byers, great goal today, cut inside, just anyway. But what I like about him is he can control the tempo of the game with his passing. He knows when to put it into feet to slow the game down. He knows when to put it a yard in front of somebody. He knows when to put it 4 yards in front of somebody, so they have to get after it, and that turns the tempo of the team up just through the control of his passing. Thought he was fantastic. I think he'd been my man of the match, actually. I thought Dean had a rusty start, which is, not unexpected. He's been out a long time. But Hunt was brilliant. Delighted he's got his goal. Dead pleased for him. And the hinge moment in that game, genuinely, I think is that Peacock Faddle save. I think that can turn the game either way. I think it can turn it on his head. So a lot of decent performances. Hunt, Johnson again, his absolute quality on the ball. His variation on his crosses. I know I say this every week, but he can chip them, float them. He knows when he can beat a man and dink one in. Sometimes he don't beat a man. Sometimes he just has a touch, looks up and puts it in. A message that could never seem to get into Kadeem Harris's head. But the quality, his assurance on the ball and his decision making, and the, like I said, the variation of his crosses is absolutely superb. So Hunt, Johnson, really good. Though Hutchinson had a good game at back. I thought Dean was really strong in the second half. Thought he really grew into the game. Yeah, but for me, Byers, it would be Byers. He just so calm and assured on ball, and he's chipping in with goals from midfield. So yeah, my man of the match would be George Byers. Wednesday 4, Cheltenham 1. Don't feel really deserved that score, but good for us and good for our goal difference, innit? Here's the table then. So that was our game in hand on Sunderland. It's vital that we won that one. It was, I know we say it every week, but it was a must-win game, that game in hand. That takes us up to 69 points, 2 points out of Sunderland, level on games now. And this is where the goal difference comes in. It's really good that we scored them 4 goals today. We're on 22, they're on 18, so you can see it there. That 4 goals is vital. It's that tight in there. Equally, we level now on points with Oxford, who've been on a fantastic run, both on 69 points. They're slightly ahead of us on goal difference, so again, that's another reason why you've got to keep chipping away and chipping away at their goal difference. Plymouth 74 points. They've lost today at Ipswich. That's a big blow for them. And as I said the other week, Plymouth, Oxford, MK Dons, Sunderland, all teams that have got to play each other in this top half of the table. So them dropping points here and there, it's bound to happen to at least 1 or 2 of these teams, and we've just got to keep plugging away. Great to get that goal difference up, and we're in there now. I think we're in a really good position. Really good position. I'm not getting carried away, but Wimbledon at home next week, and our home form, not to fear. Yes, you did read that right. We are the best team at home in the country. Sheffield Wednesday. Also, one of the top scoring teams in the country is at home this season. It's all coming together right. So just want to see us get a partner for Gregory that works with him week in, week out. 7 games left. Let's just get something up there clicking. 19 different goal scorers Wednesday have had this season. That's fantastic. Everybody's chipping in with goals. But if we can just get a front two that are consistently working with each other, Berahino and Gregory, get that in with your 17 other goal scorers chipping in. I think we're in a fantastic position. Actually, can't wait for next game, and it's not often you can say that as a Wednesday fan, to be fair. Cannot wait for next game. And fully expect us to win. Good atmosphere today as well. It does make all the difference. You can see players are buoyed by it, can't you? You know, I think there's an expectation with fans these days. I'm not just at Hillsborough, but everywhere that, right, go on then. You know what I mean? Not an expectation like they expect they're going to win something or win every game. More of an expectation of, right, go and pace the team for me. Do you know, does that make sense? But anyway, we have dished a couple out. Cambridge have had one. These have had one. A little bit unfair on them. I thought, to be honest, I thought they were a decent outfit, and for their budget, I think they were a good side. I thought they played well. But 4-1, take that. Wimbledon next match, and what could that put us on? 72 points. We could push us above Oxford next week. I think I'm just going to have a cheeky look. Fixtures next week. Where's Oxford? Oxford away at Plymouth next week. Huge game. Wednesday can get up and get into that 5th slot if that's a draw. That might be the best result for us. Oh God, it's going to go down to a wire, isn't it? Really could go down to a wire. Anyway, I am off to bed because it is now 2:30. Yes, I know. Very sad. But there we go. Anyway, cheers, and I'll see you for Wimbledon preview. Get in Wednesday. I'll have a roll of cheese. A bit of cheese and a cup of tea. Might be having nightmares.